Rahm Emanuel, you have major problems in the city of Chicago, chief among them an epidemic of violence, homicide rate up 28% since last year or something like that. How are you trying to deal with this, with the crime issue and the gun issue?
Yeah, well, there's a couple things. One, first of all, Howard, is that you? Okay, that's okay. One is we have put more police on the street, forcefully trying to get guns, kids, and drugs off the street. Now, the issue of gun violence is particular, actually, to gang-on-gang violence. Overall crime in the city of Chicago, down. I talked to my police superintendent every day, down 9% right now. It's actually going...
From when?
This year.
But the overall trend is troubling.
No. On violence, I'm going to deal with both, okay? You know, this is the largest drop of crime in the city's history in the last decade? 9%. Largest one was in 2008 at 7.2%. That's one. So crime is going down. The gun violence is particular neighborhoods, and it is incumbent of us to make sure that we cease and get between the gang-on-gang violence, which is what is happening, shootings between gangs. And we will get, slowly but surely, and not fast enough for me, that under control. And you have a breakdown in gang control and territorial fight between gangs, and that's what, and obviously also a flooding of the streets with guns from the suburbs.
Which you have tried to fight in court, and you've had some setbacks there.
And we've made adjustments, but every time in court, basically, they make a comprehensive, integrated or gun control strategy much more difficult rather than much more easier.
Is it a losing battle, or is it a more complicated battle, Mayor, when so many guns are on the street and so many disputes, crimes can turn into deadly crimes?
Well, my view on this, how is that you can't isolate this to just guns. A comprehensive strategy that goes back to the '94 crime bill, more cops on the street.
You keep bringing up Bill Clinton's record.
Well, it's the record I worked on.
I know.
But look about it. 30 years ago, people said you couldn't get this under control. We've had a major reduction since the '94 crime bill, and it's because the strategy works. Community policing, with more cops knowing the neighborhoods they work. Guns, like the assault weapon ban Brady bill, off the street. Kids, because of a tough curfew and after-school activities, off the street, and tougher enforcement on gangbangers and drug dealers. And that's what we're pursuing.
You're also facing a potentially crippling teacher strike in Chicago. Having spent years in Congress, having spent time in both White Houses, is it more difficult to be a mayor where you're closer to the problems of the people?
No, it's actually more enjoyable.
Why so?
Because you're closer to the people.
But you're also dealing with strikes and violence,
well, first of all,
not just abstract national issues.
Well, that's true, but this is actually how people live their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Their parks, their schools, their streets, their neighborhoods, their local economy. That's how they live their lives. And this is where you create, in my view, the most not only accountability, the most creativity of rethinking what government can do. Now, you said focus on the strike. What I focused on? I started school yesterday at 3 different schools where Chicago started school day. After a decade of discussing it, we now finally have the full school day and full school year. We cheated our children for over a decade, an hour and 15 minutes every day, 2 weeks out of the year. That used to be things that we didn't give our children. Now we're giving them.
Didn't make you popular with the teachers' unions, obviously.
But I know what it's going to do for children's lives.
All right, Rahm Emanuel.
Wait a second. Number 2, yeah, this school year, the core curriculum, the most rigorous academic standards. This year, 5 new science and technology and math high schools that go all the way through community college. Don't stop in high school. They go the 2 years of community college, so it's 9th through 14th grade, associated with 5 of the top technology companies in the country. We also added 6,000 kids to magnet schools, 6,000 kids to early childhood pre-K as well as kindergarten programs. And we also now made available to parents for the first time online. Every principal used to get a report card on their school, how it was doing. We never gave it to the parents. You can't ask for parent involvement to go and get information. Most comprehensive sweeping reform in schools. And why? Because if I get those kids educated, they have a future, and every other issue you described to me is solvable.
Sounds to me like Barack Obama is not the only one who'll be running for re-election. Rahm Emanuel, mayor of Chicago.
No, I'm just fixing problems.
All right. Thanks very much for joining us here at the Democratic Convention in Charlotte, talking about both national and local issues. We appreciate it.